Hi there, welcome back to another video. So I have a dust collector here from Airsee, and if you remember previously, I did review their drill, which you can check that out here, and I love it so much. So they were nice enough to send over their dust collector to see how I feel about it. And also, I hope you all like the different angle here for this video because I want to get like the full view of the dust collector. All right, so at this point, you all should know me. I am going to always start off by taking a look at the instruction manual because I never want to be surprised on a product that I buy. And any surprises that may come with the product is always going to be in the instruction manual, but a lot of the times I feel like naturally we kind of just toss it to the side and then just take our chances. I'm not going to do that anymore. So I'm taking a look here, nothing out of the ordinary. However, they do mention a warranty. So if you want to register your product, I highly recommend you do it because it's an electronic at the end of the day and you never know what can happen. Okay, so aside from that, I'm gonna pull out this little box that's over here to the side, and what's hidden in here is the plug that pretty much is the power source for the dust collector. Since there's nothing else in the box, I'm gonna go ahead and take out the dust collector now. First impressions before I even fully open this is that it is so compact. I thought it was going to be bigger, but it's actually a very decent size. I'm sitting it here flat on my desk, and here is my hand, and I'm just placing it on top so you can get an idea of the size. So even when I zoom in here, you can see both of my hands fit on here, but it's not large at all. So if you have a smaller space where you are doing your nails or maybe a shared desk or something, this would be perfect because it does not take up a lot of room. So this set actually does come with one filter, which is already inside the dust collector. And if we move it out to the side, you'll see where the fan and the motor is. Over to the side here, we do have buttons. So we have the power button, then we have 3 different speed settings. I'm going to call them low, medium, and high for this video. And then on the back, it just tells you the voltage, where it's made, etc., etc. And then back here, we do have the plug that is going to plug from the dust collector into the wall. So I'm going to go ahead and take that filter and place it back into the dust collector so I can put it to use. So as always, I am going to get started by doing a sound test so we can see how loud or quiet this dust collector is. So those buttons over there definitely deceived me. So I thought they were hard press buttons, and they're actually not. The only actual button that you push in is the power button here. These are more like a touch screen button because you just slide your finger across and then it'll light up depending upon what speed you're on. The buttons are a bit sensitive, so once you turn the dust collector on, you really want to watch that hand that'll be on the same side. So for me, it's the left hand, and make sure that you're not accidentally brushing up against the buttons and changing the speed. But I'm going to go ahead and turn off my mic, and then we're going to switch over to the original camera audio so you can hear the true sound of the dust collector. So this is what the dust collector is going to sound like on its lowest setting. So there's 3 settings here. We have what's called low, medium, high. This is what it sounds like on its low setting. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it up again. This is the medium setting. And then this is the dust collector on its So the second part of my sound test is comparing it to the noise that is already in the room that I do my nails in. So if I'm having a conversation, I would literally be talking at this level. This is my normal talking level. I'm not going to project any further. So now I'm going to actually turn on the dust collector and change the speed so you can get an idea of how loud it is against the sound that's already in the room. It is not on. So I'm going to continue having a conversation with you. This is going to be what it sounds like when the dust collector is at its lowest level. So as you can hear, it's really not super loud. I'm not having to change my voice at all. And by the way, I am not using my external mic. This is just the mic in my camera. So it's capturing the true essence of what's going on in the room and not enhancing my voice. So this is going to be what it sounds like at a medium level. It's a little bit harder to hear myself speak, but that's kind of to be expected a little bit. So that's what it sounds like. And then now we're going to go up to the highest level. So it is a bit louder. It actually reminds me of what it sounds like when I'm vacuuming my room with my Roomba. So that's what it kind of sounds like. So there we go. That's a little sound test. And now back to my normal talking level. So you can definitely hear the differences when you go up in power. So switching over back to my voiceover mic now. All right, so there we have it. I'm actually going to put the dust collector to some use by removing my gel extensions. I am not going to do anything outside of the ordinary of what I typically do, so I'm going to go ahead and get started by cutting down the length. I am not going to turn the dust collector on for this part, but I don't want to skip the steps, so if you have no clue how to remove your gel extensions, you can also learn how to do that in this video as well. All right, so you'll notice in this frame that my thumb is missing a nail, and it's because I already took it off because I think that one was like a pop-off nail that I did. I did use some rhinestones, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove those with my cuticle nippers before I start using my e-file. This just makes things easier. I don't wanna mess up the bit on my e-file. So I try to get these off the best way that I can. Sometimes I do encapsulate my rhinestones so that they last for a long period of time and they are a little bit difficult to get off, but in this particular nail look, it comes off with no issue. So I got majority of the rhinestones off. So now I'm gonna switch over to my e-file. This one is also by Airsee, and I love this one so much. If you haven't seen my review on this, you can check that out here. But I'm going to turn this on and I'm going to begin removing the polish and the rest of the glue from the top of the extension. I'm also going to turn the dust collector on to its lowest setting for the first finger. So that was using the dust collector at its lowest speed. So now I'm going to turn it up a bit to the medium speed and remove all the polish from my middle finger. So for my pinky and my ring finger, I am going to go ahead and put the dust collector at its highest setting and go from there. So I like to go back in and do like additional filing so that I can remove as much that I possibly can so that the soak off process is easier. So I'm gonna go and do a little bit more filing just to make my life not complex. First impressions, I will definitely say I feel like the dust collector works the best on the medium and the highest setting. At the lowest setting, I didn't really notice too much of a difference because it didn't feel like it was capturing the amount of dust that I would prefer it to. Once I got to a medium setting, that's when I felt like, okay, I can definitely feel something happening. I can definitely see the dust being sucked up. But on the highest setting is where, in my opinion, it worked the best because it would get to a point where I wouldn't even be able to see the dust in the air. So it was just getting pulled down by the dust collector, which is awesome because that means it's doing its job. So I'm actually going to pull the filter out so you can see how much dust is actually on this filter. Y'all, look how much dust is in the filter right now. Imagine if I did both hands, it would be double the amount. So if you do not have a dust collector, all that dust is floating in the air and essentially you'd be inhaling it and it'd get in your lungs. So to keep these lungs nice, clean, safe, healthy, I do recommend getting a dust collector. At the time of this video going live, this dust collector is now $40. So it's affordable, it's compact, you can easily store it away once you're done. And I highly recommend you consider picking a dust collector up. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this dust collector over to the side, and I'm gonna finish the removal process. So first things first, I'm gonna grab me some aluminum foil from my kitchen. It's the easiest thing to remove your gel extensions with. You probably already have it in your house in some form or capacity, so go ahead and grab you like a little sheet. It doesn't need to be too long or too wide. We just need a little rectangle that we can break apart into smaller pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So next I am going to grab some cotton balls. I use the Equate brand because cotton balls are just the cheapest at either the Dollar Tree, and did y'all see items at the Dollar Tree may be $7? Like what? I'm perplexed. We'll talk about that in the next video. But anyway, it's either going to be the cheapest at the Dollar Tree or Walmart. So I just use the Equate brand. But when you're using your cotton balls, what you want to do is spread them out just a little bit. You want to break them apart. If you leave the cotton balls in their original form, so you can see they're nice and thick, the acetone is going to get soaked up in the cotton ball before it even reaches your nails. So you want to go ahead and spread it out. Kind of like how when we were kids and we used to do that little art project and they used to have us making clouds with the cotton balls. Essentially, that's what we're doing here. The same thing. We're going to break them apart, thin them out a little bit so that the acetone doesn't just soak through the cotton ball and never touch the nail. Next up, I'm going to grab some acetone. If you are having issues with soaking off your gel extensions in under 20 minutes, it could 100% be your acetone. There are so many different types of acetone out on the market now, but you want to make sure you're using 100% acetone with no additional oils added into them. So the brand that I like to use is this one here called Onyx Professionals. You can find this at, if you're in the US, Walmart, Five Below. I get mine at TJ Maxx a lot. The cheapest place to get this is either going to be, honestly, TJ Maxx or Walmart. Five Below is going to be the most expensive place to get it, but you'll know it's there if you have them in your area. So next I am going to grab some Vaseline, which is basically just petroleum jelly. So if you have ever gotten any chemical treatments done on your hair, so for me, I used to get relaxers. I am 100% natural now, but about 15 years ago, I wasn't. And so when you get a relaxer, if you have no clue what a relaxer is, basically it's what those who have curly hair use to get it chemically straightened. What you do is you take the petroleum jelly and you put it around the edges of your hair, like on your skin, so that the chemical does not tear your skin up. That's essentially where I got the idea. Kind of did a little throwback and was like, why don't I put petroleum jelly around my fingers before I wrap them in acetone to protect them? And I've been doing it for, a couple months now, and it has truly made a difference. My hands are not super dry after removing the extensions. I don't feel like I have to lather them in lotion afterwards because they're like screaming for some moisture, because it keeps the fingers and the skin around the nail from getting completely dried out by the acetone. Because whether you put your hands in like a soak off bowl or you wrap it around with aluminum foil, the acetone is still going to get on your fingers. Like, it's inevitable. So when you put the petroleum jelly down first, it serves as a barrier between your skin and the acetone, and it really does help. So I highly recommend that you give this a chance. All right, so now we're going to get our little pre-made sheet with the cotton ball and the aluminum foil, and I'm going to put some acetone onto the cotton ball. You want to make sure you're not oversaturating the cotton ball, because once you go to wrap it, all of the acetone will fall out the bottom of the aluminum foil. So use a good amount, but don't do too much now. And then wrap the aluminum foil around your finger. You want to make sure that your finger is right in the center of that cotton ball. And then once you get it wrapped around, you see that little piece that's like hanging out there, we're going to tuck that right on in. I'm going to do this process for the rest of the fingers, and then we'll wait for 20 minutes. So it's been about 20 minutes, and now I'm going to start taking the aluminum foil off to see how everything is looking. What I'm looking for is that the extension and the glue should kind of be buckling off on its own. If I can't even see areas where the gel is coming up on its own, I will go ahead and put the aluminum foil back on with the cotton ball and the acetone, and I will wait another 5 minutes. Before I start like scraping the gel off, I like to put like a little dot of cuticle oil. You know, chemically, scientifically, I have no clue why this helps, but there's definitely a difference here. And I think it's keeping the actual nail plate moisturized or something. And the glue is just sliding right on off. And I don't feel like I'm pulling and tugging at the nails. I think it just adds some slip, honestly. But I like to do this step. And then I noticed that my nail plate isn't super dry afterwards once I get the glue off. So protecting my skin, protecting the nail plate, because we want healthy, natural nails under these extensions, and extensions don't damage your nails. Usually it's the removal process that does if you are doing it incorrectly. So now I'm going to go ahead and take a buffing block and remove any of that glue that may still be stuck on the nail that didn't come off as easily, just buffing it away. And then once I'm done, I'm going to run to the bathroom and wash my hands. And that is how easy it is to remove your gel extensions at home. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts on your mind, leave a comment down below. But in the meantime, I will catch you over in one of these videos here.